Hey everybody, welcome to castorscorner.com. This is our live YouTube channel to do toy of the day. Sorry, it's late. Thank you guys for tuning in for another toy of the day here on castorscorner.com. You can go to the website for a full gallery. There's a link below for this figure, as well as our past archive. You can also go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can follow us there. We are at Kastor's Corner on all social media. And you can check out the Cornercast podcast every Monday night. New podcast. We've got a slate of new fun guests coming up. We're really excited to share with you. And you can check that out every Monday night. You can subscribe to that and subscribe to this channel. While you're at it, subscribe. This way, don't wait till the end of the video. Do it now. Just hit the subscribe button right there, here, somewhere over here. So this is the last of our Marvel Selects that we picked up from the Disney store recently. The comic Taskmaster, the movie Taskmaster is out as well. Identity Unknown, but it's a great figure, and you know, this is one of those figures where the price went up. They used to be $24.99, then they went up to $29.99, and now this one is sitting around $34.99. And you know, it's a much harder pill to swallow at $35 when the roster is a little more limited. There aren't as many Marvel Select releases as we see in other Marvel lines, and so because of that, you know, sometimes it's harder to find things where they fit in, and the articulation on older ones, we've talked about this before, is a little iffy. So posing older ones with modern ones don't always work out. So I think this is a line where you pick a character that you really like, and then you buy a lot of that character. Taskmaster is a great example of that, where you've got two options right now to get it. You can get the comic one, or you can get the movie one, or both. And this really does capture the comic book look. I mean, this is where they stepped up the articulation a lot, and given this guy a lot of different things. So first and foremost, he does come with an alternate head. So you can see the skull face for that one. I will say this, because of the cape, the way the cape rides up on the shoulders, the heads do pop off rather easily compared to other figures. Now, you're supposed to be able to pop the head. You're supposed to be able to mod it. But just know that going in, that it fits very snugly, snugly. It fits very snug on the joint, but because of the position of the cape, when you go to turn the head, there's the alternate kind of hockey looking mask. When you go to turn the head, it does pop it up. You can kind of see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. So if you look over here, you'll see it kind of pops up a little bit. It gives a little bit of space, and then it pops off. But knowing that going in, it's not a deal breaker. It's not a broken joint. It's not something that's... but just know that when you're posing them, you might have some issues there. And you can hear me kind of crunching over the plastic. And it has to do with them putting that lip underneath the helmet itself. Needed to be there aesthetically, but it does cause some issues with the posing. So put the skull head back on. He is full of weapons for sure. So he comes with his sword. So, yeah, because all the Avengers carry a sword, and he mimics. So Taskmaster kind of learns and mimics the Avengers' moves. There goes the head. Thankfully, I have a second one. So he comes with his sword. The sword can go into its sheath on his belt, so it fits in there really nicely. Let me get the other head. For me, the skull head definitely fits better, definitely holds better on there. He does come with his shield, which can really be put on any of his, and you see the bands there. Slips on really easily, just like the cap shield. He comes with a pistol that can go into the holster on his side. There we go. And it actually fits. I'll hold it by his head. It actually fits You could see the difficulties as you pose him. Sorry. Honesty in reporting, I guess, right? So you can see it fits in the holster a lot better than Bucky's did. It doesn't bend there. He does come with a quiver that is attached, that is not removable. I guess it is technically removable but the cape isn't removable. So trying to get the quiver off might be a little bit difficult to slide out from underneath. You kind of see it gets stuck by whatever you call those things that are holding the cape in place. But it is removable. It's not definitely attached. I'm just going to take the sword out so I can crack it. He comes with 3 arrows. So we get like, I don't know, explosive tip. Like a net tip kind of. It's got like ridges on there. And then the standard kind of just a regular arrow. And they all fit in the quiver very nicely. He does come with a bow. Now, from somebody that's done archery before, this bow for his body is a little bit small. But he can hold it. I'm going to pop the head off now, just to get ahead of the curve. He can hold it. He can sort of draw on it. If I can get it positioned right. It's tricky. But there it is. So you can see he can pull it. He can pull on that. But I don't know if you'd really be able to pose him in a true kind of pose, because you need, you need one arm out and then you need the other hand to pull back to the chest. And it can do it, but I don't think the bow or the string are really long enough to accommodate that. And then, of course, getting his torso in the right position too. It's very rare that you can get a character that uses a bow and arrow, that you can get them into the pose of the bow and arrow. Although I do appreciate that Diamond Select did not choose to put a giant stupid arrow on the edge of this, so that you had a giant engaged bow. I mean, this one has a little bit of a string. It's got a little bit of a give to it. It's a nice accessory to have. Much better than those bows with the arrows that are permanently attached and then they look goofy, and then maybe there's no string but there's an arrow to it. It's just, they say it's for toy safety, but we've seen it time and time again where companies can get away with it or do it. I don't get it. There's not a consistency in the rule when it comes to action figures and bows and arrows. So it's a nice way to kind of have a really good looking comic accurate character with all of his weapons, with accessories. I mean, he was loaded. So $34.99 stung a little bit, but considering how much we got with him, how comic accurate, how well the paint is done, if they'd given him, my only criticism is I would have rather had a longer neck peg to accommodate for the shoulder pads or the shoulder parts of his cape. Other than that, like, I have absolutely no complaints about this figure. He works well. He's articulated. He's got bicep cuts, so you can try to do those bow and arrow poses. He looks really good posed out and ready for action. He comes with an alternate hand too. He's got the bow drawing hand as well as just the regular grip. So he can hold his pistol. So this might be the best Taskmaster figure that any company's made. I mean, Legends was okay, but this one, just from the colors to the articulation to the design and the sculpting on it, I don't think you can get much better than this guy. So you can check out a full gallery of him up on the website, castorscorner.com. You can follow us. We are at Kastor's Corner on all social media. And of course, you can check out the Cornercast podcast. Subscribe, rate, review, share it, do whatever you need to. Just listen to it every Monday night. And hit the subscribe button somewhere down below. The more of you that subscribe, the more cool things we get to do, and then we get to share them with you and build this little community we have. So thank you guys for watching another toy of the day here on CastorsCorner.com. Have a good night, everybody.